Good morning. It is 6:15. To be honest, I didn't sleep that great last night, but you also may ask, why are you wearing headphones and two hoodies, two pairs of pants, a t-shirt, and an undershirt? I've already been outside today. I went down to Planet Fitness and got a massage, and it is, let's see my Apple Watch, what it says. It is actual temperature 34 degrees. Yep. Even though I'm in Florida, it's 34, so I'm bundled up and ready to go. I'm going to go get my steps in, so let's go for a walk. One thing I wanted to capture, I saw already as I was walking back from Planet Fitness, is how awesome the sky looks already. The sun hasn't up yet, but see if you guys can see this. There's through some netting. I'm going to stick you. There's also a hole in the net, so we'll see, but check this out. I'm sure the camera is not going to do it justice because sure it's tied to the, try not to drop my phone out the window, but that sun's not up yet. Again, looks much better in person, but yeah. Alright, so that's what it looks like right now. I'm going to hit the elevator, wait for the elevator to come up, and then we'll be off on our walk. One thing I forgot to do is set my Apple Watch, and remember, don't set your Apple Watch. Doesn't really count. Today feels like one of the first real tests I have, besides yesterday getting up at 6 o'clock. Today I was actually up around 3 o'clock. I'm not really sure why I didn't sleep well. Once I got up, I just got up and started doing some website design stuff. But yeah, once I was up and I saw the temperature, I really was like, do I really want to go out here? And do I really want to go out there and get my steps in? But again, the whole point of this is you got to do it on days you don't want to. And honestly, this is probably going to be one of the coldest days in Florida, or even if we have a little bit colder, it's not going to get much colder than this. So if I can get out and get motivated to do it on a day like this, then I'll be able to do it on any day, because like I said, it doesn't get much worse than this in Florida. It normally in the wintertime, the lowest it gets down to is the 40s, but most of the time it's still in the 50s, so this is the worst, and we're out here doing it. Alright, well, that didn't last long. I'm only a few minutes in and already decided to put the gloves on. My hands are frozen. Like I said, feel ashamed for anybody watching in the northern climates. I used to be one of you. Used to be outside in the wintertime, early fall, with shorts on. I was one of those people that never wore long pants. Barely, just wear hoodies, never wore a big jacket. But 5 years down here, and body just gets acclimated. Another thing I talked about this morning that I did already was using massage chairs at Planet Fitness. Feel like I'm super late to this game on massage chairs, but holy crap. I have been using the hydro massage, and I thought those things were the best thing ever, but Again, last night, first time I used a massage chair ever in my life. Never used one at the mall, never used one at the airport, and I feel like it's life-changing. The amount of pressure that it puts on you feels like a real life massage. I turned it all the way up, and like I said, I got one last night, and this morning when I got up, I was like, since I knew I wanted to come out here, and I did all that pickleball exercise or pickleball playing yesterday, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to get a massage before I go out and do this. And wow, probably going to use it daily. I don't even know if you should. I'll look into it. But again, big props to Planet Fitness. That alone to me is worth the price, because I don't know what it is. 20, I think I'm paying 20. I think I'll be grandfathered in, but even if it's $25 a month, those massages, I'd pay that a day to use those. So the fact that you get full access to the gym membership and both of those types of massages, 100% worth it. So if you have a Planet Fitness in your area, even if you're doing what I'm doing, and you're just gonna be like, oh, why do I need to do this? You're saying get outside and just do walks. I 100% agree. Get outside and do your walks. You don't need a Planet Fitness to get your walks in or get your exercise in. But like I said, get the Black Card membership, because it allows you to use any Planet Fitness in the country. It allows you to bring a guest, and it also allows you to use their spa. Most of them have spas now. I know some of the older ones don't, but they're doing a lot of remodeling, so most of them do. And the spas are 100% worth the membership. So even if you're not using it for the exercise, get it for the spa, because when you start actually losing weight, getting in shape, you are going to want to make sure your body stays healthy. And part of your body staying healthy is being relaxed. And like I said, tissue massages are good after exercise. Again, I need to do research on how often you should be doing them, because I'm not sure if you should be getting a massage every day. I know I researched at one time, and I'm pretty sure the Hydra massage is recommended you not doing them every day. But again, let me do some research on that before I fully discuss that, because I kind of want to know why you wouldn't be able to get a massage daily. So another thing I'm trying out today is a different filming style. I'm trying to film my walking and my B-roll at the same time. I guess not my walking, my talking and my B-roll at the same time, to limit on the editing I need to do. We'll see how it goes. I won't be able to get all the shots I want to this way, but I already realized, again, the first day I think it took like a few hours to get that video edited, and that was only like 7 or 8 minute video, and that was because of the way I shot it. So I learned and did something yesterday, tried it out. It made it a little bit easier, but I still think if I actually looked at the time, it took me an hour and a half probably to get that video edited. And I'm on a daily schedule now, so I'm trying to post daily, but that also means that you're seeing this later tonight. So I'm on same day. And is that a smart thing to do? Probably not. Will it help keep me accountable more? Yes, because if I had a buffer, I probably would just relax and sit on the buffer and end up not recording some days, and then it would just make, I would get caught anyway. So now, without having a buffer, I'm sort of forced to just deal with what I am at, where I'm at. And part of that makes it realize, like, I'm always big on the philosophy, work smarter, not harder. So if these videos can be 95% of the quality of videos and just not have me spend a whole bunch of time editing, and I can get it done in half an hour, or even, like I said, even around half an hour is fine, because I'm up into an hour and a half. So my goal is to keep my editing closer to half an hour. I know I've also mentioned this before, but this is the one thing I do like about living in the Soto area of Orlando, is that my walks are around these lakes. Like, it's so nice, peaceful, and yeah, just look at that again. Sun's not even up, but it just makes it feel so much less like a chore or a pain to do it when you get to get out here, enjoy this, and it makes me realize I just want to do this every day, because this is how my ideal future self starts every morning. I know I have headphones on right now, but I'm not actually listening to anything. I think the noise cancellation might be on, but maybe not. But they're just mostly there to keep my ears cold, or ears from getting cold. And yeah, this is another thing, another cool thing. Get this, catch this. It's hard to see because it looks more bright, but I like this neighborhood. I know the other day I showed you a neighborhood that had ghosts in the trees, but these look super cool at night. These oak trees, they have lights hanging. And then here you go, look at this. It's probably gonna fly away, but there's some type of crane. Again, osprey, I'm not sure. No idea what kind of birds. I put his foot down. He's probably gonna leave, but try not to bother him too much. I'm just gonna keep walking. Again, also, bunch of swans, ducks come down here. These ponds fill up a lot more in the wintertime. In the summertime, there's not as many ducks, so I'm sure a lot of these are migrating from up north. But swans are fine. The ducks are somewhat okay, but there's also a bunch of geese in this other pond. Not really this pond, but the other one. And the geese are assholes. They are constantly on the road. They're constantly on the walking path, and they're actually most of the time right on the edge of the walking path and on the road. So it's like a gauntlet of geese, and they're mean. They are very territorial, so they'll basically like charge at you, and yeah, not friendly creatures. Another cool thing about losing weight that most people don't get to experience or even test out is trying to lift the weight amount that you've lost. I'm down over 40 pounds now. Again, not a weightlifter, but I can probably barely curl 35 pounds. So just imagining that I had that much weight on my body that I can't even curl, but that was just walking around with me. Also, I'm from the restaurant industry, owned restaurants before, and a big sack of potatoes or produce that restaurants use come in big 50-pound bags. And I was just around those my entire life. And just knowing that I'm getting close to losing that much weight off my body, and I was carrying it around for years, is crazy. You just don't realize how much strain that puts on your body, because before I started doing this, my hip was hurting so bad that I basically couldn't do any exercise. I could barely walk because my hip felt like it was clicking, which then I believe caused my knee to hurt, because my knee was hurting super bad. And since I've done this last fast, I haven't even worn my knee compression guards that I got. I don't know what you call them. Knee compression that I bought off of Amazon that I was using just to get through the pickleball lessons I was teaching. So your body can heal itself. I also started doing my holistic nutritionist also recommended fascia release, basically getting a tennis ball or something like that and putting it down and resting your whole body weight on the area that was bothering you. And I did that for my hip, so I don't know how much that helped compared to just weight loss. But she also recommended, which I had never heard the advice before, of you have to stay in each pain area for a minimum of 5 minutes to actually release fully any fascia. So that was game changing, because I'm pretty sure I tried some of that before, but I'd only do it for probably 10 seconds. I'm like, this isn't working. And life changing. Again, I know some of it is tied to weight loss, but I barely have any hip pain. And any day that I do a lot of walking or any type of strenuous exercise, I end the day by doing, I'm up to about 10 minutes now of fascia release on my hip, and I barely have any hip pain anymore. It's not 100% gone, but it's mostly gone. So that's a tip for anybody that has chronic pain, and supposedly you can do it in any type of pain area. It's not just joints. I guess if you have shoulder, again, that's probably a joint. I'm not an expert in body physiology or anatomy, whatever it's called. But one more thing I also wanted to talk about. I'm just not going to talk into the camera right now because this lake view is pretty awesome right at sunset or sunrise. And that same sort of thing that I was talking about earlier about lifting the weight. So the last week of my fast, I wanted to stock up on some protein shakes, and there's a Publix about 1.5 miles from my house. I used to walk it all the time when I lost the weight last time. So threw my backpack on, went down to Publix, and I got, I think, 12 or I don't know, maybe 8. Not that many. I got 8 or 10 protein shakes, and kid decided to carry them back because threw my backpack, brought it back, 1.5 miles. My back was hurting so bad having that backpack on. I'm like, when I get back home, I'm gonna weigh it because this feels like 50 pounds. It was 14 pounds. And at that point, I was already down 30 pounds. So basically, the backpack I carried that felt like it was breaking my back was half the weight that I lost. And at this point, it's a third of the weight that I've lost. And that was hurting my back. So you just don't realize your body slowly adjusts to pain. So if you add a little pain at a time, you don't remember what it's like to not feel the pain. So that's my point is, if someone handed you a 50-pound bag of potatoes and like, here, you need to carry this around with you for a year, you wouldn't be able to do it. You would be like, this is impossible. You're insane. But if you slowly add an extra 50, 100 pounds to your body just gets used to it. And you just become accustomed to the aches and pains of moving, getting up, bending over, not being able to tie your shoes. And it's not good for you. So just another reminder. It's kind of crazy that how quickly your body adjusts to losing weight too, because now, like I said, if someone gave me a 50-pound bag to put on now, I would struggle doing any type of steps. And it's only been a month. So another important thing that I'm doing for accountability is that I worked with my wellness nutritionist, accountability coach, and we set workout goals for every level of weight. So in the 250s, and we also set workout and diet plan for every 10 pounds of weight loss. Obviously, the first few from 280s down to 250s happened before we had any plan in place, because that first 20 pounds dropped off immediately with basically barely any exercise and just diet, fasting. So the first one we set was 250s. Again, I'll have to check. I'll probably put it up on the screen at some point on one of these videos. In the 250s, I was still doing the month-long fast. And then my only workout was trying to get 10,000 steps a day. Most days I didn't get it. Barely any of the days I would get it. Like I said, I didn't start getting my 50 steps or 10,000 steps a day probably until the third or fourth week of, no, actually, no, it was the fourth week of that month-long fast. And then, so my next goal in the 240s I have marked down is my fasts are going to be, we're supposed to be 120 hours with I think 2-day refeed or 1 day, I'm not sure. I'm sticking to that. I'm going to be a little more strict this time. Maybe I'll move that fasting part down. But my exercise goals were 11,000 steps a day, start doing some HIIT classes, doing yoga, and I don't think I added pickleball yet in the 240s because I felt like I wasn't ready for it. But that's part of the reason I want to talk about this is you will be surprised how quickly you can meet your new exercise goals and diet goals. They just, your ability to meet those goals grows exponentially. Because yesterday when I joined in for a casual play because I was at work and the session only had 7 people, so you need 8 to play 2 games. And there were guys in there and ladies, most of them somewhat older, There's two guys my age, a girl my age, and the younger people were getting pretty competitive. They're hitting shots that, because I watch a lot of sessions on there, they're hitting shots that most of the people in competitive sessions are barely doing. And I felt good the entire time. Didn't wear my knee brace. That's the word I was trying to figure out before. And yeah, I won most of the games, and any games that we lost, I think the most we ever lost by were 2 points. So yeah, it just gave me a huge boost. I'm also pumped about how many calories and the heart rate zones I got in playing pickleball, because I do enjoy hit classes, but I enjoy playing pickleball way more. So I may swap out some of those hit classes, or I don't even know if I'll do hit classes. If I do, maybe I'll just do one a week, and then most of my other cardio workout will come from pickleball. Still plan on doing the walking, and I still plan on trying to get some yoga. Yoga's gonna be the toughest one. I've only done it, I think, once or twice this last month, and it's always, every time I do it, I'm like, oh, I need to keep doing that. I'm so stiff, I can't bend, I can't do any of these things. And I think it's the same thing as walking that I mentioned the other day, is I'm trying to hit these poses that they're suggesting, and I can't even do the modified ones because I'm doing the yoga in Apple Fitness, where they offer modified versions of the workouts, and I can't even do the modified ones. So I start getting frustrated, and I just gotta take my own advice, like I talked about the other day. And like I mentioned the other day about walking and don't getting frustrated because you're trying to do a mile instead of doing minutes, I just need to realize that if I just stick to yoga, it might not be a month, it might not be 2 months, it might not be 3 months, but eventually it will be worth it, because I know part of my issues that I have, again, bending over, picking things up, my back's tight all the time, like releasing those tensions and being able to do that stuff is what's going to help me live healthier and longer. I look at all the people that come in and play pickleball. There's people in their 80s that are playing. There's people in their 70s that are playing. And all the people that are in those ages that are playing are people that are way more flexible than me now. So I'm assuming that their entire life, and again, who knows, maybe they made a change in their 40s like I did, but they are not people that look out of shape the way I did or the way I still do. So if you want to live a life like that, then you got to start making the changes now. And I think that's some of the other issues that people have, is they wait. They're like, eventually I'll do that. Eventually I do that. You have to start doing those changes immediately. And you have to start living your life the way the future you that you envision live. So the future you is in shape and plays pickleball multiple times a week and does whatever you imagine them doing, just start doing it tomorrow. Will your life change dramatically tomorrow? No. In a month, could it dramatically change? I say yes. I'm a pretty prime example. Yes, it can. But even if it doesn't change as dramatically as mine did, 2 months from now, like, I'm only a month and a half in. Give it another half month, give it till the end of the year, I'm going to be an entirely different person than I was on October 1st. Will I be my ideal version, the future me that I want? No. Will I be a hell of a lot closer? Yes. So that's all you got to do. Every day, all the people that you listen to, the gurus, the people that are motivation coaches, accountability coaches, they say it. It's hard to get in the groove because what they're saying is true. just make one small change a day. If you do that, it will snowball. The ball will start to roll, and once you get the momentum going, you're not gonna want to stop. And you don't need to be perfect. If you mess up, not if you mess up, when you mess up, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up your diet. You're gonna mess up not doing a week of exercise. You just have to get back on the horse. If you let it to totally derail you, that's when you mess up. Because you can fix anything by just slowly getting back into your routine. Don't let it derail you. If you don't go to the gym for a week or don't do your walking for a week, you go on vacation, you go to a holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you eat bad. That's fine. Is it ideal? No. What is not fine is then continuing that eating the following week, the week after that. 1 week of weight gain or not doing your exercise is not going to kill you. It will make it slightly harder, but don't let that snowball, because I've done that before, and 5 pounds turns into 10, 10 to 20, and all of a sudden you're 40 pounds back. And when that happens, you feel like you're in such a hole that it feels impossible to get out of. So I've been there, I've done it multiple times in my life. I've always been yo-yo diet type person, and I said it last time, but I feel like I really mean it this time. Well, I meant it last time, but I didn't have the tools set up for my success. Part of it being accountability. When you don't have someone to hold you accountable, it's easy to just slowly get back into your old habits. So that's what I'm setting up with this program. That's what I have, and I'm laying the groundwork, putting in all the systems in place to keep you accountable. I'm going to use this to keep myself accountable. Again, I'm out here, 30-degree weather in Florida, doing a walk. So I'm going to use this platform to keep myself accountable, but I also want you to use it to keep yourself accountable. And even if that means getting up and doing a 10-minute walk tonight, good start. That's all that matters. You can do it. And then tomorrow, just do it again. Don't worry about adding until you find it easy or you enjoy it. So once you start enjoying the 10-minute walk, that's when you're gonna realize, oh, this isn't that bad, because now I want to go on the 10-minute walk. You'll naturally want to make the walk a little bit longer. So do it step by step, little by little. Just remember 2 important things. It is your diet and also your exercise. But the diet is just important. That's why I'm calling this program Shut Your Mouth. 2 main reasons. What you put in your mouth makes a difference. It's not calories in and calories out, because the amount of calories doesn't always make a difference, because 2,000 calories of processed carbs like bread is not the same as 2,000 calories of chicken or steak or vegetables. So the old fitness gurus that used to just say it's all about calories in, calories out. That's partially true, but it matters what type of calories in, calories out. That's part 1 of the Shut Your Mouth. Second part of Shut Your Mouth is about breath work. Another thing I need to work on, just like yoga. I'm not good at doing it all the time, but I read a book by James Nestor about breathing, and it is one of the things that helped me change my sleeping pattern so much. after I read that book, I immediately started taping my mouth when I go to sleep. And I've been doing it for 4 years. I used to wake up in the morning, sore throat, not feeling super well rested, and most of that was tied to mouth breathing. And he goes in all the research about how there's Olympic teams that train and the runners from these countries that do the different running, long distance, I think, and sprinting. If you watch them on TV, the ones that are fastest are the ones they are not breathing through their mouth. So if you're out doing exercise and you're huffing and puffing coming through your mouth, you're breathing wrong. And it doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal, because breathing through your nose introduces, I believe, nitrogen into your blood, and it's not the same. That does not happen when you're breathing through your mouth. So it affects how your lungs work. It affects how your whole body works. So the other most important thing is breath work. So I think that's probably going to be it for today's walk. I'm going to shoot some more B-roll to put over. Hopefully my editing is not as bad, but let me check the time here real quick. Yeah, it's a little after 7. I need to start heading back. I'm trying to be back by 7:30. I'm almost 2 miles already, so I'll give an update when I get back. But successful morning. Again, didn't sleep well. Didn't even want to come out here because it's so cold, but super happy I did. Feel just like yesterday. Feel like this is a good start to my morning, and I don't feel rushed to get to work like I normally do, which is kind of crazy, because normally I stay in bed until I set my alarm until 7:30, which is not even 7:30 yet. It's only 7:05. So I'm usually still sleeping, and then I'm just laying in bed, and then I mess around on my phone or iPad, and then before I know it, I'm running late for work. Today, like I said, by 7:30, there's a good chance I'm going to be showered, and then I can slowly get ready for work, make sure I have everything, and then head off to work. I'm back, and it's about 7:30. I did about an hour and 7 minutes, about 2.5 miles. So I'm going to get all this off because I'm dying in here now. The camera's just actually all foggy because it feels like 70 in my house and 28 outside, 24, something ridiculous like that. So I'm wearing like 4 layers of clothing on top and 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to get this off, get showered, head to work. Good day, and I'm going to get this video edited hopefully in less than an hour.